Greetings, family. This is Pastor Milton Wren Jr., Senior Pastor of Kingdom Builders. And I just want to give you a quick kingdom nugget that I believe will bless you. In Hosea chapter 4, around verse 6, it says, "My people perish for a lack of knowledge." I believe all of us have that desire to be used by God. But I think there are two things that are critical if God is going to use us. Number one, I must know the author of the manual. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that are trying to get to know the manual without knowing the author of the manual. God wanted to use Abram, but he couldn't use Abram until he got him away from his family, got him outside of things. So, sometimes God will shift us in order to use us. He had to take him away from something that was familiar, because had he used him where he was, in the environment that he was in with all kind of pagan worship and idolatrous worship, they would have consumed Abram. So God tells him to leave. When he leaves, then God begins to use him. So I think number one, in order for God to use me, I must know the author of the manual. I think that's critical. That's number one. But number two, listen at this. I must believe the manual. Why, Pastor? See, I have to believe, number one, that a virgin gave birth to the Son of God. If I don't believe that, then nothing in this manual works for me. He can't use me if I don't believe it. I've got to believe that birds came out of the water. I must believe that birds came from the water and that fish came out of the water. I've got to believe this, because if I don't believe this, he can't use me. Think about this in Numbers chapter 22. When God begins to talk to Baal, and he tells him not to go, and he goes anyway. And then God uses a donkey. He's hitting it 3 times, and then a donkey, a jackass, begins to talk and then starts counting. Now, wait a minute. You've got to believe that. And basically, God is trying to say, listen, if you didn't believe my manual, I'm going to put it in a way where you have to believe certain things and you can't deny it. Can I say this, my friends? If you're going to be used by God, if I'm going to be used by God, I've got to believe in the author, and then I've got to believe in the manual. And if you believe him and you believe his word, you're a candidate for God to use you, because you're just right to be used by the master. I love you and I'm praying for you. And this has been your Kingdom Nugget. Now let's go build the kingdom one person at a time. Let's move.